Hey everybody, it's Derek with Hi-Fi Resale Shop. We got a lot to do today. We got 24 items that sold over the weekend. Pretty good Sunday in sales. The other days were okay. We did gross $584 in sales over the weekend. There's a few things that got shipped out on Friday that would have added to this total in the afternoon, but I shipped them out. So we probably did $600 in sales now that I think about it. So we're going to go through the things that sold. Last week I spent Friday and Saturday taking photos, and I don't know how many items I took photos of, but this black bin here and this pink bin with this pink stuff on top, and then you can barely see right here there's pants in this bin, dress pants, ladies dress pants. So those three bins are filled with stuff that taken photos of, so probably have 120 items that have been photographed maybe, and I'm going to start putting those up probably on Wednesday, maybe a couple tomorrow if I get a chance. Tomorrow the kids have their homeschool co-op, so I will do that all day, and then I think there might be something in the evening that somebody wants me to do, but we will see. And then today is sports practices, so in the evening, so not any real time to work on any of that today. Maybe a couple pieces here and there, but the bulk will probably be done on Wednesday and Thursday and Friday. So got that going. Did I go to any garage sales this weekend? Went to maybe 3 garage sales this weekend. One, nothing was on their tables, and it was like not set up yet, and it wasn't terribly early. It was like 9:30, 10 o'clock. And then the next one, they had their stuff had been out all night, so it was all damp, and I was like, not interested in any of this stuff. So I left there, and I was heading home, and I saw another sign, and I followed the signs to go to that one. It was a little out of the way, but ended up buying like $19 worth of stuff. I got some shoes. Let me see if I can find them really quick here. Move my pile of clothes here. And here. So I got this tulle skirt, Halloween type of item, and this blue wig. I think it was a thing 1 and thing 2 kind of costume, but I've got those were $1 a piece, so we'll see if I can get rid of them before Halloween. And these are well worn, but maybe they can make a little bit of money. But I got these Crocs, and they have a couple of gems on them, or whatever they call them. I got those for like $1 or $2, I'm not sure. These are Sperry boots. They're in pretty good condition. This one has some dirt right there. I'll see if I can get that off for a couple of bucks for those. These Sperry men's shoes I might use for a costume, but they're well worn. I wouldn't try to sell those. Those are for a costume. And then these, they look like Hey Dudes, but they're like very G, it says. I thought my daughter might like those, but I haven't asked her just yet. So that was the stuff, and then there were 2 pairs of shorts, which are in the piles of clothing that needs to be pictured. So I don't know why I keep buying shoes. I never seem to list them. They just sit in a bin. I got a whole bin full of interesting shoes and stuff that I don't list, but I need to do that sometime. Okay. So to the stuff that's sold. To the stuff that's sold. So the first item that sold, I sold another one of these human scale monitor displays. They clamp onto the desk here, and then your monitor, you can swivel it around. New, those cost $100. I've been selling them for half of that, and when prompted by somebody, I will cut them a deal because I really don't have. I have $10 into each of them. So I buy 3 or 4, I sell 3 or 4, then I go buy 3 or 4 more. And so a friend of mine did a little dumpster diving and got all of these from a corporate headquarters that was emptying out their place. So he's got a whole stack of them in his garage. So we will sell those off until they're all gone. But I'm only doing like 3 or 4 at a time. I don't want a pile of these things in my garage. So he can store them. I don't want to store them. The next item, so that sold, let me go back. That sold for $44.99. When I'm shipping this item, I take some shrink wrap and I wrap it up so it's smaller. I write on there, be careful of the spring action when you open it up. And then I throw it in a box and I ship it off. But I put shrink wrap around it, and then I write on there, beware of the spring action on it. So hopefully they don't get hurt when they open it up and cut it open. So $44.99 for that item. The next item is these Ann Taylor Loft. I guess it says Loft Outlet. Blue modern skinny ankle slacks pants, size 10. These sold for $18.99. So that's a pretty good amount for a pair of dress slacks. The next item that sold was this audiobook, The Matchmakers by Debbie McComber. And this sold for $6.99 plus shipping on top. The next item that sold is over here. Those pants, just go back a second, those pants came from the Betty and Bobby Allison charity garage sale, where I got a fill-a-bag for $10 a bag, and so the total for the items when it all got counted up was 30 cents a piece, so 30 cents into $18.99 plus shipping. So it's pretty good. The next item was this Magellan Shiner Beers Camo 2XL hooded sweatshirt. So it's got a hood on it. It's a pretty nice item. Got it at a garage sale in Nixa for $2.50. That sold for $14 plus shipping on top. The next item is this Roxy solid blue hooded long sleeve sweatshirt. It's kind of like a kind of crop type of deal. It's got the hood on it. Roxy, not really a great brand name, but this came out of a Facebook marketplace clothing bag that I got for $5. And it had a 25-cent cost to it. Sold for $9.99 plus shipping on top. Next item that sold also came from the Betty and Bobby Allison charity garage sale. And this is a tee for Talbot's, white and green, blue, striped, collared, extra large sweatshirt with a quarter zip. And again, the cost on this was 30 cents, and it sold for $16 plus shipping on top. The way they worked that Betty and Bobby Allison charity garage sale was like each day they had a new, or each time during the day they had a new discount on stuff. So like at the beginning it was full price, and then 3 hours into it was now 25% off, and then the beginning of the second day it was like 50% off, half price sale, and then the last 2 hours of it was a fill-a-bag kind of deal. $10 for a kitchen garbage bag, and you can fill it as much as you can fill it, and that's where I did that. The next item that sold was this Anne Klein ivory round neck maybe a 3/4 gathered sleeve, new with tags, so it's got tags over here. This was an N and Sell similar, and this has no like where I got it from information. This sold for $9.99 plus shipping on top. Alright. Here's Ivy. She wants to say hi to everybody.
Hi.
And so the next item is these Philosophy leggings. They're extra large, they're black, ankle, maybe yoga pants, size extra large. No information on this, where it came from. This sold for $14.99 plus shipping on top. So some of the stuff where I got it from really long time ago, I still have bins of stuff. One of the bins of these that I was working on was stuff from years ago. Then there was a bin of garage sale stuff that I bought recently, and then another bin of things I had to wash that came out of garage sale piles. I had to wash, and then they finally made it back over here into the office. So I still have maybe 10 to 15 bins of clothes that I haven't gone through, or I haven't never gotten up to the eBay store. But I'm working through them. Like I get 2 or 3 of them done a month, and it's a lot better than it used to be. It used to be like 20 or 30 tubs of clothes that I hadn't been through. So, and those came, we got those from our clean out days back in Chicago. We did clean outs and stuff like that, and we carried them all the way here to Missouri, so we better put them up, you know. We spent all that money to move them. The next thing that sold was this CD used Plank Eye, The Spark. Christian rock pop, it says. Sold this for $5.99 plus shipping on top. The next item that sold was this Boyd's Bears FOB, which means Friends of the Bears, $19.99 retailer pack. So it has like the newsletter in here, and it has a figure in here. It has the stuffed bear in here. It's got this little booklet in here of sunflower seeds. It's got this pin. So this is from 1999, and if you were selling Boyd's Bears, you might get one of these packs. This person had such a big collection that they had these. I mean, this came in another box because this box is immaculate, you know. It has this red sticker here, which was just a sticker I put on there to inventory it at one point. But that's got no markings on it, so it wasn't like they shipped it in that. And that whole thing, I mean, these Boyd's Bears aren't worth anything. Nobody wants to pay anything for them. That thing sold for $5 plus shipping on top, which the shipping was more than the $5 that they paid for it. So that $5 plus shipping on top of that. One of the reasons I want to get better things in that space, which I have removed them from the shelves. I have them in a box out here beside my office. I have a Facebook Marketplace listing for the whole lot of the Boyd's Bears things, although I'm still selling them, as you can see, through eBay and just removing them off the list of parts in that lot. And we'll see how it goes. Maybe somebody will bite on it. The next thing that sold was this 2 CDs in a lot. Let me get this open here. Lou Reed, Best of the Wild Side, and Rock and Roll Animal, it looks like. I once saw a article on, I think it was the Rolling Stone or something, and he was on the best singers in the world because of his weird voice, and on the list of worst singers in the world. And Bob Dylan was on both. He was on both, and I think Meatloaf was on both. So those are the 2 CDs from Lou Reed that are in this lot, and they sold for $7.49. Did you say hi? Come and say hi. Okay. You already said hi. Okay, step away. Please step away.
We're going to make something to eat.
Okay, this is Waverly. She says
You
hi.
already know me.
So this is the next thing that sold. This BSR Birmingham stove dry fry griddle, 20 inches by 11, not seasoned, and it has a wobble. It's not a huge wobble, but it might make some people crazy. It's like a little wobble from corner to corner. But we put it up for a decent price because of that wobble. It is $29.99 plus shipping on top. Yes, they probably paid almost as much in shipping as they did for that. It's probably about $18 in shipping on that because it's so heavy. The next item that sold, the cast iron griddle, that came out of a storage locker. My mother-in-law gave me that. She gave me this griddle to sell. She gives me a lot of things from her storage locker. So, thank you to her. The next item that sold are these KC Kansas City Chiefs Kingdom yellow and red novelty socks. They're medium large adults. They're new with tags. I have 2 more of these available, and these sold for $9.99 plus shipping on top. Chiefs won yesterday. Bears also figured out a way to snatch victory out of the jaws of defeat. And the Cubs are in the playoffs, so they start on tomorrow on their playoff run. So we are hoping the best for the Cubbies. The next item that's sold are these Joe Fit black and white circle casual excuse me, Bermuda shorts, size 8 medium. These again came from the Bobby and Betty Allison charity garage sale. 30 cents cost, and they sold for $14.99 plus shipping on top. So what, 3 things from that already, and a total of less than $1, and made $50 or $60 from that stuff. So I'm sure there's more. There might be a few more things from that sale in here. This is an extremely old listing. This was actually on my list of listings to go in and end and sell similar on, even though I haven't gotten to that yet. But this Old Navy gray and black with the plaid yoke, extra large quarter zip, right? $4.99 plus shipping on top, and we are just happy that it found a new home. So there you go. You're out of here. $4.99 plus shipping on top for that really old listing. The next thing that sold was this Dave Matthews Band at the Golden Gate Park 3-disc set. This sold for $5 plus shipping on top. And let's see here. The next thing is a plain blue Gap t-shirt. I think it's a 2XL. Yeah, it's a XXL. When I worked at Old Navy, I tried to get their explanation of what 2XL and XXL, what the difference was. And the only thing anybody could ever tell me was like an XXL is wider than a 2XL. I don't even know what that means. So I usually put like XXL and 2XL in my listing title just to, like, you know, get more people to look at it. This was an end and sell similar, and this sold for $5.99 plus shipping on top. So that would say that it's several years old. It's an old listing, so we're glad to see that get out to a new home. The next item that sold was this new with tags altered state sequin dress. Isn't that shiny? Wow. And this was when I went this beginning of this year. My wife took me to a clearance event at Altered State, and we bought a ton of stuff, like 100 pieces of clothes, and we spent $656. So each piece of clothing, well, it came out to $6.56. So we have yet to make our money back on that stuff. A lot of it is Christmassy related type stuff. So there is that. It might sell now that we're coming closer to Christmas, like red plaids with, you know, green in them, and, you know, stuff of that nature, where you would pair like a green top with a red skirt or something like that. So I'm hopefully optimistic about this stuff making its money back. I think we're somewhere around $250, $300 in what we've made back so far. But this sold for $22.49 plus shipping. And like I said, it cost $6.56 per item. The next item that sold is this Dallas Cowboys cowboy hairstyle, which I don't know what that actually means. So Dallas Cowboys blue and black, shimmery, glittery, full zip sweatshirt hoodie. It's a large. And this came from a Stratford garage sale for $2 cost, and this sold for $18 plus shipping. So that was a good turnaround on that. The next item, this came out of a storage locker that my mother-in-law did, and she gave me all the Halloween costume stuff. Or it was actually like medieval Renaissance fair type of stuff. So we listed this as a pirate's jacket. So with all these buttons, and it's got the sleeves, and it's got the big cuffs on it, and it's got it's a jacquard fabric. You know, it's got the woven into it. So this Funhouse black jacquard long sleeve coat, size medium, pirate medieval cosplay costume. We had 2 people interested in it yesterday, and one of them decided to pull the trigger on it, and it sold for $30 plus shipping on top. This is like high level quality costume stuff. I mean, if you're going to a medieval fair or something, and you're not going to wear something from the Spirit Halloween or whatever. You're going to wear something like this. So there's that, and we had a whole bunch of other pirate costume pieces, like these vests with this corset type ribbon tied stuff. It ties up here, and then it ties down here, and it's got a big old collar on it, like a lady pirate might wear. Big old skirt for a pirate lady. The peasant undergarment. Also a very fancy satin lined olive green hooded cape, I guess you would call it. And I think I put Hobbit in the title of that to see if it drummed out any interest. But it is a $200 to $100 piece of clothing, not your run-of-the-mill type, just going to a frat party type of deal. Okay, so the next thing that sold were these 2 Boyd's bears. So we got Charity and Angel Hug Cherish Every Child. So that's what that one looks like. And that person also bought Amy Angel Wings Always There For You. So there's that one. So those 2 sold for $10.99 plus shipping on top. Okay, the next thing that sold was another of these human scale monitor arms. This one sold on an offer for $35 plus shipping on top. Pardon me. The next thing that sold was this single function shower valve. Polished chrome with a brass rough in, and that sold for, it's an Amazon return, I think. It sold for $25.49. That came from the Owl auction, or the Ozarks wholesale liquidation auction, and that was $1 cost on that. And let me go back. I think I mentioned everything. And then the last thing that sold this morning was this vintage Expressions Campus blue butterfly collar with a little sailboat on the pocket. Extra large shirt. This sold for $23 plus shipping on top. So that was a really good sale this morning. So that is everything. I will refresh the screen. I don't think we had any sales while we were going through that. And no, we did not. So that is everything. I'm trying to think of anything else I wanted to impart on you. Hold on a second. So I've been going through my baseball card, football card collection from when I was a kid, and I've been taking them out of their sleeves and putting them in these 350 count boxes. What I think I'm going to do with them, I'm going to I'm going to do a little research, see if they're like, look up some of these mid stars and see if there's any cards that I'm going to go from a high to low, and see if there's any cards in there that I need to be on the lookout for, see if I have. Just like, here's a scenario. Like, I have a lot of Marvin Harrison cards. I would do a search for Marvin Harrison, high to low, go through there, look, and see if there's any cards that I may have. And then I would take anything out that really had some value in it. Got to make it worth my while. So maybe something like over $5 or $6, and then I might list that individually. But what I'm planning on doing is taking all of the cards, putting them into teams, all the Indianapolis Colts, all the Chicago Bears cards or whatever, and then kind of mixing stars in, like these semi-stars in with the regular cards, what I thought were stars back when I was collecting these cards, which are like Marvin Harrison. So if you think like Marvin Harrison was a superstar, then he's a superstar, whatever. But I wouldn't put I might put some Peyton Mannings in there that are, just run-of-the-mill type stuff. But, put them back in their teams and then sell off 350 count boxes of team, all Chicago Bears in a box, and all, Chicago White Sox in a box, and all St. Louis Cardinals in a box, each team. And I want to see how this goes, and see if there's any interest by people in that. I believe that if I was buying cards for my son and he was interested in the Cubs, I would just buy him a, box of 350 cards of all Cubs, over the course of all these seasons and stuff. And I know what I have is limited, but if I can prove this as a concept, then I can buy people's big lots of cards and occasionally find that one outlier that they left behind, good card that you can sell. But you could take all the commons and stuff and put them together in these team boxes and get rid of them that way. You could also sell them at a garage sale a little bit better than you could at any other sale. Like, you bring out this, like where I live, you bring out the St. Louis Cardinals cards, and then a kid is like, oh, I want the Cardinals cards. Or, you bring out like other cards. People are really into the Yankees. So, I am sure there are teams that would sit and no one might buy, but there are also teams that are always going to get bought up and stuff. So I think something like the Cubs and the Yankees, the Cardinals, and the Dodgers, those might be the first ones to sell. And something like the Colorado Rockies and the Arizona Diamondbacks probably sit there for a long time. So, but this is something I've been thinking about and working on. I got, I think I got a pack of 50 of these boxes. They're 350 count. I didn't necessarily know they were going to be so small. So, I might do 500 count boxes next, just to be a little bit bigger. But these will fit in an 8x6x4 box, I know. And I wouldn't ship them in the box that they're already in. I would put them in a padded pat them up in a box or whatever. But that's what I'm planning to do with those. I've been trying to figure out what I was going to do with my card collection for the longest time. I'll probably I have a bunch of sets. I'll probably try and sell the sets as a set, but I don't think that's going to go very well. I might have to sell them at a garage sale or something. But anyway, that's what I was planning on doing on that, and that'll get me out of lugging these cards all over the place. I've been moving those cards around since I was 20, so that's at least 10 moves of from this house to this house, or this apartment to that apartment, moving my baseball card collection around. And I actually had quite a bit of cards. But anyway, that's what I'm going to do with those. I need to reorder some stuff this week. I am out of bubble wrap. I need to order bubble wrap, and I think I'm going to order enough to get me through enough to get me through December. So I usually get 2 of the rolls that I get. I'll probably get 4 this time, and then I'm going to reorder my business cards, which I think I did 1,000 last time. I might do 5,000 this time, just so I don't have to do it anytime soon to re-up them anytime soon. But that's about it. Got lots of other to-do things around the house, but you guys aren't interested in that. So we will see you next time on the next show. Remember, Jesus wants to have a relationship with you. Find yourself a nice church to be able to go to, and make sure they teach from the Bible. And God has given us his sons and daughters an instruction manual to this world that we live in, and it is called the Holy Bible. I hope that you find yourself a church and talk to Jesus on a daily basis. Other than that, when you find that great find at a thrift store or garage sale or flea market, make sure you give yourself a high five. See you next time.